Dear students, welcome back. In this session, we are going to discuss about modified direct current, which is also called as interrupted direct current, and this one is also called as galvanic type of current. So, this interrupted direct current is also related to Faraday type of current because Faraday type is also interrupted direct current, but the frequency is different for Faraday as well as the galvanic type of currents. Okay, normally we are commonly used this term for interrupted direct current for galvanic type of currents. Okay, so interruption is the most usual modification of direct current. The flow of current commencing and ceasing at regular intervals. The rise and fall of intensity may be sudden. That is called rectangular impulses. So rise and fall. So these are the common type of intensity or waveform we can see in the case of interrupted direct current, or sometimes gradual. So these impulses are different types. One is triangular, trapezoidal, and sawtooth type of impulses. Okay. So these are called as selective impulses. We can call it as selective impulses. Okay. So the impulses in which this current rises gradually are often termed as selective because a contraction of denervated muscle can often be produced with an intensity of current that is insufficient to stimulate the motor nerves because accommodation occurs. So we have seen the term about accommodation. So this is the type of current which is having the intensity for producing a contraction of denervated muscle is insufficient to stimulate the motor nerves because accommodation occurs. So if you see the duration and frequency of the impulses, which can be adjusted, a duration of 100 milliseconds being commonly used, although it is often an advantage to increase this to 300 or 600 milliseconds. Okay, an impulse of 100 milliseconds duration requires a frequency of about 30 per minute. So this is the duration and frequency which are used as galvanic type of current. Okay, but if the duration is increased, if you see this duration is increased, what will happen? So the frequency is going to be reduced. That means here the time interval is inversely proportional to the frequency. Okay, so whenever you increase the duration, the frequency of this current is going to decrease. So normally for galvanic type, we require 100 milliseconds of duration in between the pulses, and it is having 30 pulses per minute. Okay. So the interval between the impulses should never be of shorter duration than the impulses themselves and usually appreciably longer. Okay. So some equipment allows for a low intensity reversed current between the impulses, giving so-called depolarized impulses. These are called depolarized impulses. So this is low intensity reversed current. So here you can see these are not reversed current. Okay, this one appears some, here we are getting the waveform, the reversed waveform we are getting here. Okay, so this is which appears as somewhat sinusoidal type, isn't it? So this such kind of waves are called as depolarized impulses. The passage of direct current through an electrolyte causes chemical changes to take place at electrodes. So now that constant direct current is rarely used, rarely used, the chances of chemical burn are much reduced, and the risk is further reduced by the use of depolarized impulses. Okay, the reverse wave of current between the impulses reduces the chemical formation, and if the quantity of electricity passed in the reversed current is equal to the forward one, any chemicals formed are neutralized. That means, so if the wave intensity is equal to the reversed form, then the chemicals which are formed are getting neutralized. Okay, so here we are getting a reversed wave, but this will not neutralize the formation of chemicals, but such kind of wave can help most of the chemicals to be neutralized, and it can be decreased, or it can be eliminate the chance of burns on the skin. Okay, so there is consequent reduction in irritation of the skin because of this depolarized waves. The person or the patient will have reduction in irritation of the skin, so making the treatment more comfortable for the patient. Okay, if you see the production of this modified current, okay, so normally the current is produced by the multi-vibrator circuit. So we have already discussed about this multi-vibrator circuit under the production of Faraday type of current. Here where the long duration we have required in the modified currents, this can be obtained by adding resistances at the R2. So you can see the resistances. Once increasing the resistance at the R2, it can be helps in the controlling of the duration. Okay, so if you want to obtain long duration interrupted DC, so this can be obtained by adding more resistances to the R2, as duration is controlled by the product of C2 and R2. Okay, now, so selective impulses, I have already mentioned that the gradual form of this rise and fall of the intensity leads to selective impulses. So these are the selective impulses, isn't it? The impulses in which the current rises gradually are often called as selective, because a contraction of denervated muscle can often be produced with an intensity of current that is insufficient to stimulate the motor nerves, and because, what is the reason? Accommodation occurs. So muscle tissues may be stimulated by these slow rising pulses called as selective, triangular or accommodation pulses. The impulses such as triangular, trapezoidal and sawtooth are the selective impulses. If you see the selection of type of impulse, if a good muscle contraction is obtained with the rectangular impulse, this may be used, but the selective impulses often prove more satisfactory. In the selective impulses, the slow rise in intensity of the current has the advantage that a contraction of denervated muscle is often obtained with less sensory stimulation than when the rectangular impulses are used, and that denervated muscle often responds to lower intensity of the current than that is required to stimulate the motor nerves. So unwanted contraction of normally innervated muscles in this region are avoided because of using this selective impulses. To stimulate muscle fiber, not the nerve, keep it in mind, to stimulate muscle fiber, not the nerve, a triangular pulse. So here this triangular pulse with a rise time of 50 milliseconds, okay, and 100 meters pulse length is useful. So 50 milliseconds of triangular pulse with 100 milliseconds pulse length is useful. And to stimulate denervated muscle fibers only, a rise time of longer than 100 milliseconds is best, and 300 or 500 millisecond triangular pulses are often selected. So to stimulate only the muscle fiber, what is the triangular pulse rise time, which is 50 milliseconds, and pulse length is 100 milliseconds. To stimulate denervated muscle, only denervated muscle fibers, a rise time which is longer than 100 milliseconds is the best, and pulse length is 300 or 500 milliseconds of only the triangular pulses are used. To minimize the formation of chemicals under the electrode, depolarized pulses are used. Denervated muscles can be made to contact with rectangular wave pulses of sufficient duration of 30 milliseconds or more, or triangular wave pulses of long duration which is rise time of 100 to 500 milliseconds. In both the cases, the current needs to be applied through the muscle tissue itself, as there is no motor point. We are not considering the motor point for the denervated muscles. So the current is usually most successfully applied in the long axis of the muscle fibers, that is with the stimulating electrodes at each end of the muscle belly. You can see, so at the each end of the muscle belly we can stimulate the denervated muscle. So that means we are applying the current in the long axis of the muscle. We are applying the current in the long axis of the muscle fibers. So that is with the stimulating electrodes at each end of the muscle belly. Okay. Yes. Now we will see the physiological effects of the modified direct current or galvanic type currents or interrupted direct currents. So, provided that the intensity of current and duration of impulses are adequate, a contraction of denervated muscle can be initiated. So here the contractions are sluggish. The contraction and relaxation between relaxation being slower than when the motor nerve is stimulated. So as denervated muscle tissue has not the same property of accommodation as motor nerves, a current that races fairly slowly is as effective in producing a contraction as one that raises suddenly. Moreover, the slowly rising current can often produce a contraction of denervated muscle with a current that is insufficient to stimulate selectively the motor nerve. Okay, an impulse with a duration of 100 milliseconds is the shortest that is generally considered satisfactory for the treatment of denervated muscle, but it is often necessary to lengthen this impulse in order to eliminate contractions of innervated muscles. Both of these factors should be taken into consideration before treating the patient. Okay, now so now we'll see the physiological effects. One is the stimulation of the sensory nerve. That means when an interrupted direct current is applied to the body, there is stimulation of sensory nerves is going to happen. Okay. Here what is happening? Normally, we are using this type of current for denervated muscle. If we are giving such kind of currents to an innervated muscle, so which leads to the stimulation of sensory nerves. So because the impulses are of fairly long duration, so the effect is very marked. So the effect is marked. That means the person is going to having the feeling of stabbing or burning sensation. Okay, so there is a reflex dilatation of the superficial blood vessels and consequent erythema of the skin is going to take place during the stimulation of sensory nerves. So here what kind of sensation because of stimulation of sensory nerves? One is the stabbing or burning sensation. Stabbing or burning sensation. Okay. Next, stimulation of motor nerves. Okay. So with an interrupted direct current, if we stimulate the motor nerves, so this produces contraction of the muscle supplied, but the contraction requires higher intensity and is in the form of brisk muscle twitch followed by immediate relaxation. So there is therefore little beneficial effect on the muscles. So these are the physiological effects of the modified direct current. Okay, if you see the chemical effects, what is going to happen here means, so on the passage of direct current through an electrolyte, chemical changes takes place at the electrodes. So with the very direct current, there is a danger of chemical burns. When depolarized impulses are used, the reverse wave of current between the impulses reduces the chemical formation. Okay, and if the reversal wave is equal to that of forward one, any chemicals formed are neutralized and the danger of burns are eliminated. Okay, so a reduction of chemical formation has the additional advantage which lessens the irritation of the skin. These are the chemical effects. If you see the therapeutic effects, so what are all the therapeutic effects of this galvanic type? One is the stimulation of denervated muscle. So the first one is the stimulation of denervated muscle. So what is happening? And next one is for electrodiagnosis. So for to study the function of the muscle, we can see this, we can use this current for electrodiagnosis. Okay. Yes, these are the main two therapeutic effects we can see under this galvanic type of currents. So in the stimulation of denervated muscles, we use galvanic type of current. Okay, use galvanic type of current in the states of muscle denervation. The current is still recognized as an important treatment modality in the early stages of peripheral nerve injury. Very, very important. So here, so this type of current is used in the early stages of peripheral nerve injury. Okay. And when muscle is denervated, many structural and functional changes occur. There are loss of voluntary and reflex activity, atrophy we can see, degeneration and fibrosis, and also we can see the fibrillations. That means spontaneous contraction of muscle fibers are called as fibrillations. So these are the three major things we can observe on the denervated muscle. There is some literatures have concluded that the denervated muscle fibers must be activated, and that isometric contractions are more effective than isotonic, and that regular contractions by galvanic type current should commence as soon as possible after denervation. Okay. So many controversies are also there, but interrupted direct current is still recommended for the treatment of axonotmesis, where recovery is anticipated, and in neurotmesis, where nerve repair is to be undertaken. So in such kinds, we can use this interrupted direct current. In the early stages of reinnervation, electrical stimulation may be useful as a means of re-education if the patient cannot get the feeling of the recovering muscle. One should then use a pulse duration that is comfortable for the patient and gives the best contraction. This may even be a long duration current even though the patient has shown voluntary movement. It is important not to assume that as because the muscle is recovering, a Faraday type current should be used. In fact, a long duration current of 30 milliseconds may be more comfortable and effective. Okay. So, and also the second therapeutic is uses for electrodiagnosis. Galvanic type current is used by physiotherapists for electrodiagnosis, that is SD curve. That is strength duration curve plotting and Faraday and galvanic tests. Okay, so these things we are going to discuss in a separate topic. Okay, so these are all about the modified direct current. Thank you.